Okay. Next up, we have Meryl Jones, Head of Business Development at St Barbara Limited. Meryl joined St Barbara in August 2011 as a Senior Resources Analyst and was appointed Head of Business Development in April this year. She is a geologist with over 30 years mining industry experience. Prior to joining St Barb's, Meryl was Exploration Projects Manager with Straits Resources and has strong experience in mine valuation, portfolio optimisation, strategic development and business improvement. So please join me in welcoming Meryl Jones. Thank you.
Thanks, Dickie. Good morning, everyone. Per the program, clearly I'm not Craig Jetson. Unfortunately, technical difficulties between the East Coast and the West Coast have beaten us today, and therefore, to Craig's great disappointment, he's unable to join us via the live stream. I found out quite late yesterday afternoon that not only was Craig unable to penetrate Fortress WA, but he was also unable to breach the St Barbara firewall. And so I'm very pleased to be presenting on behalf of St Barbara, and thanks for taking the journey with me through St Barbara's presentation today. The usual disclaimers around forward-looking statements, and we will also be having this presentation available on the ASX and the St Barbara website now. What I will do today is provide you with an overview of our organisation. I'll explain why safety always is at the forefront of everything that we do. We'll have a brief look at our financial year 20 performance. We'll talk about FY21 and our Building Brilliance program and what that means to St Barbara. Our operations, which includes our Touquoy mine in Canada, our Leonora operations about 250 kilometres up the road from here, and our Simberi operations in the Tabar Islands group of Papua New Guinea. Exploration remains a very important part of our strategy, and we'll also take a look at that, and also what's next for St Barbara. So St Barbara is an ASX 200 listed company. We're thrilled to become a truly global gold mining company with the acquisition of Atlantic Gold in July last year, complementing our other operations both here in Australia and in PNG. This year, under Craig's leadership, we've introduced 5 core commitments to support our values-driven culture. Because at St Barbara, doing the right thing is really important to us. These commitments speak to who we are at St Barbara. Safety always. Zero harm is always our target, and our focus is always on safety in everything that we do. At St Barbara, we're very proud to be an employer of choice. We're absolutely committed to inclusion and diversity, and then we know that having an inclusive and diverse culture empowers our people to reach their full potential. It also allows us to attract the best talent and retain our high-performing individuals. Strong communities sits at the heart of our organisation as well. We're really committed to ensure that our communities thrive, grow and prosper. In Atlantic Canada, here in Australia and in PNG, we strive to work closely with our communities to ensure that they benefit from our presence. It's a priority for us. We want to invest the time and the energy to get to know them, and we truly respect the environment and are committed to carbon neutrality by 2050. And with my BD hat on now, growing sustainably means that we can add value for our stakeholders, growing where it makes sense and with strong governance practice. And that's a benefit for everybody. I mentioned the first of our 5 commitments being safety always. Zero harm as our target means zero harm to our people, to our assets and to the communities in which we operate. And if we can achieve that, we know that our assets can reach their full potential. One thing that's very important to us here at St Barbara is what safety means across our workplace. And for us, that means providing a safe workplace for our men and our women. Our regular gender safety smart audits allow us to recognise and respond to the needs of our women, to make sure that whether it's in a camp environment or across the operations generally, that our women feel that they're safe and supported. A big theme of 2020 for all of us has been COVID-19. We have a robust management framework in place to manage it, and I'm pleased to say that we've had no cases of COVID-19 detected at any of our sites. Nevertheless, the risk remains and our vigilance is maintained, and this is particularly important in PNG, where we operate on a very small island with a fly-in and fly-out workforce. Reflecting on 2020, Craig joined the business in February and we've had a very solid year. We've rounded out a very solid year. And the highlight had to be our first quarter, where we concluded the year to produce 382,000 ounces. Looking to our resources and reserves on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see the value add that Atlantic operations have had to the business. In FY 2020, we had a 3-month period that was completely injury-free, and we're working hard to build on this going forward. Our group total recordable injury frequency rate is ahead of the mining industry average at 3. Quarter 4 for 2020 was a record quarter for the Atlantic operations, producing 29,000 ounces, and the throughput at the Gwalia mill was the highest since it had been in 2014 at 224,000 tonnes. I mentioned before the commitment that we have around empowered people and diverse teams. And I'm proud to say that we're at the forefront of diversity and inclusion in the minerals industry, ahead of many of our much larger peers. For the 6th year running, we've received the citation of Employer of Choice from the Workplace Gender Equality Agency, the WGEA, and we're the only ASX-listed mining company to achieve that citation. Craig Jetson is a WGEA Pay Equity Ambassador, and he was appointed to that role on joining St Barbara this February. In our organisation, we do have gender targets, and it's pleasing to see that over a quarter of our workforce in our Australian workplaces are women. I'm also pleased to report that women make up 50% of our PNG workforce. We recently achieved our 3-year target in this regard. And for the last 7 years, 100% of the women who have taken parental leave in our Australian operations have returned to St Barbara when that was completed. We're also proud to report that we have a nil gender pay gap in like-for-like roles. I'd like to delve now a little bit into the stronger communities and what it means to help our communities thrive, grow and prosper. All of the jurisdictions in which we operate we are committed to building constructive, productive and lasting relationships with the First Nations peoples. So whether it's the Simberi Islands in PNG, the First Nations peoples in Nova Scotia, or the Aboriginal Australians right around the country, both in our operations here in WA and in our exploration projects around the country, what is important to us is ensuring that we build a pipeline of talent. And it's particularly attractive to us to be able to recruit from the communities in which we operate. We participate in a raft of initiatives to support the gold industry more broadly, and particularly to empower young Indigenous people through initiatives such as Shooting Stars, the Shooting Stars Netball program, the Clontarf Foundation and the Goldfields Girl. Shooting Stars is hugely popular here in WA. And is incredibly beneficial to empowering and supporting young Indigenous women. Respect for our communities and the First Nations peoples sit at the heart of our business. At Simberi, we provide a range of community services from schooling to health services, employment, and we find a myriad of other ways to support those Islander peoples. In Nova Scotia, we're forging strong relationships with the First Nations peoples there, establishing relations across all levels of government, and our community engagement remains an integral part of our permitting process. This is all aimed at helping our communities to thrive, grow and prosper. So how does this all come together? Well, our commitment to sustainable operations has been recognised through multiple awards. Importantly, we've engaged our people, and it's pleasing to be able to say that we have a high response rate to our employee engagement survey, with over 70% in favour of the work that St Barbara is doing. We have also really focused in assisting our people through COVID-19, through the delivery of care packages, online mental health and wellbeing workshops and seminars, not only here in Australia but around the world. I've also mentioned before that we've set a target of carbon neutrality by 2050. This is very exciting for our organisation. I'm pleased to say that Atlantic Gold is leading the way with its scalable saltwater battery technology, plus the team there has a raft of innovative initiatives just waiting to roll out with the project pipeline. Locally here at Leonora, our paste aggregate fill plant and our absorption chiller are both incredibly important initiatives for reducing energy consumption and emissions. And this has led to a number of awards that has supported our credentials in this space, including the Gold Waterwise Business Award at Leonora for the second time. So let's take a moment to take a look at FY21, where we're forecasting sustained performance from each of our assets. At Atlantic Gold, we recently acquired the 40% interest in Moose River Resources Incorporated at the Touquoy operations, allowing us to take full control of that asset. Atlantic Gold will build on the high tonnages from Touquoy that were produced during FY20 in the coming year. And to be clear, we remain highly focused on permitting to support those development projects going forward. At Gwalia, we're looking to prioritising the development in the first half of FY21. And at Simberi, it's easy to see that there is a strong production profile there despite the lower grades and the maturing nature of the oxide operations. The new building blocks for our organisation will be developed through an integrated company-wide transformation, which we're calling Building Brilliance. The Building Brilliance program commenced about a month ago and is being led by Craig and the executive leadership team. It's focused on value in everything that we do for our people, our community and our shareholders. In Craig's words, if he could summarise the three areas that it really is all about, it's about organic growth, it's about reducing costs, and it's about plugging the value leakage at all of our operations. Importantly, under Craig's leadership, this is the first step in our vision to becoming a brilliant global gold mining company that grows sustainably and creates enduring positive impacts. So through Building Brilliance, we're identifying opportunities to lift performance. And that's about increasing the productivity and reducing costs. It encompasses all aspects of our operations and capital projects, and it's supported by an operating model that is about technical expertise and embedding business improvement to achieve success. Importantly, our entire organisation is on board with the program, and they're empowered to seek out opportunities and so solve any historical challenges. The first step in our strategy under Craig's leadership supports our commitment to grow the business sustainably. It's all about adopting an owner's mindset and resolving constraints to take our business to the next level. As we work through identifying a range of productive improvements, we look forward to updating the market on our progress later in Q2 when we'll share the plan with you all. Building Brilliance is supported by 6 capability pillars. First, it's all about discipline in delivery. Particularly at Gwalia, we've been looking at short interval control times in an effort to achieve continuous optimisation. People leadership at St Barbara remains a priority, ensuring we have high-performing leaders and we attract great talent. Our asset productivity, supported by technology and innovation, is the key to our future success. And this needs to be supported by a continuous improvement capability with the embedded operating systems coming to support our business in Building Brilliance. Building brilliance is our transformation strategy, because brilliance matters at St Barbara. We're committed to zero harm, our industry-leading position as an employer of choice. We are absolutely focused on achieving our potential, realising the potential of our assets and operating them with excellence. We're working hard to deliver our major projects through disciplined project management and execution, and deliberate value accretive growth through exploration and future M&A activities. So now we'll just take a quick whistle-stop tour through the global operations. I've talked a little bit about Atlantic Gold and the fact that this asset is delivering to its acquisition potential. It's certainly been a terrific acquisition for us. With 320 employees, a high level of female participation, the site delivered a solid safety performance and a very good all-in sustaining cost in FY20. FY20 was a record year at Touquoy, making a cash contribution to the St Barbara business of $120 million Australian. We're working very hard on optimal sequencing of the Atlantic Gold development projects, and it remains a heavy focus area for the company. Our Leonora operations continue to generate significant cash flow. Quarter 4 of FY20 saw the mine achieve record material movement, supporting the full year production guidance of 171,000 ounces. In half 1 of 21, we're prioritising development to allow for more operational areas in support of greater production rates in the medium term. Even with a fall of ground in the Hoover decline, which resulted in a production shortfall in quarter 1, our guidance for FY21 has been maintained. Gwalia is in a great position at the moment to leverage near-mine exploration opportunities, and we're working towards developing a Gwalia province plan with the objective of ensuring that latent capacity in the Gwalia mill is minimised. In the underground operations, the final ventilation shaft was commissioned in August of 2020, supporting the growth of the total material movement in FY21, particularly in the second half. The paste aggregate fill plant study has commenced to identify opportunities to sustain the high utilisation rates, and we're also looking at new equipment, utilising remote communications in the underground operations to ensure that they are future ready. The exciting part of our Simberi operations is not only the contribution that it continues to make to the St Barbara business, but the fact that we also have the opportunity of the Simberi Sulphides project coming. We are making steady progress in the feasibility study and the environment and social impact assessment, which is due in December 2020. Our board will make a decision on the sulphide project in the March quarter of FY21. That particular project contemplates a 2-year construction window, and we do anticipate continuing to process oxides up until 2022. Of note, the current oxide operation does contribute around $24 million a quarter to the St Barbara business. The existing mining lease that we have at Simberi in support of the sulphide project is in place until December 2028. Also, many people won't realise the high level of our national workforce at Simberi. We have less than 5% expats. And having that high percentage of national workers has been particularly helpful during COVID-19 to enable us to operate effectively this business as usual, despite having a fly-in, fly-out workforce. The team at Simberi achieved an outstanding safety performance for FY20 with a TRIFR of just 0.7. We continue to focus on increasing the nationalisation of the workforce and increasing the number of women at Simberi. This year, we've introduced a global centralised approach to exploration. Our exploration footprint spans each of the countries in which we operate. We're committed to spending between $30 and $35 million on exploration in this financial year across PNG, Australia and Canada. There's around $10 to $12 million that will be going into Canada, 8 to 9 at Gwalia, 2 to 3 in PNG, and around $10 to $11 million to support the broader Australian portfolio, including our joint ventures. Exploration in Nova Scotia continues with the Tukoi corridor, the Moose River corridor, the Tukoi mine itself, where we're conducting in-pit exploration and extension drilling to contribute to the longer life of the Tukoi operations. At Simberi, the funds will be contributing towards extending the oxide life of the Simberi operations to the maximum extent possible. And at Gwalia, it's about making sure that we're fully assessing any and all opportunities within economic trucking distance of the Gwalia mill. So in summary, it's an exciting time at St Barbara. Our global operations are poised for growth and opportunity. We're delivering on this potential through building brilliance. Whether it's our projects at Atlantic Gold, which are progressing through the permitting phases, or bringing the sulphide project at Simberi online, all of this is being supported by our company transformation. Building brilliance is the key to a strong and brilliant future at St Barbara, as we deliver to our commitments and optimise the value we deliver to our shareholders, our people and our communities. Thank you.
We have no time for questions. I'm sorry, Meryl. I've been asked to apparently I'm dragging my feet here, so thank you very much for your presentation.